All right, hit on this a little bit earlier. So does this settle the question about Tesla being a car company? The miss when it comes to profit and net income, that was partly due to the company investing in AI, which seems to be, according to some people, the future of the company. So why do you think the stock's trading lower on that profit miss?
Well, Frank, going into earnings, I think the stock, because of that high valuation that it carries, was priced to perfection. And Musk kind of set the stage that the next couple of quarters would be a disappointment or a struggle for the company as we think about those impacts of the EV tax credits expiring, and also the fact that when you look at the earnings, yes, sales were better year over year, but it was because the pricing around the Model S, Model Y cars were discounted. And I think that's the view that they're trying to work on, getting cost out of the system for car deliveries moving forward, while they're trying to increase volume as we look out to 2026 and 2027. But at the end of the day, the stock commands these valuations because most investors see it as a transformable tech company based on innovation, as we know, that's coming with autonomous robotaxis, robotics, and also energy storage. So I think that's still the outlook that investors are putting on the stock, Rick.
Brian, you are a shareholder. I want to play a soundbite. We've been playing parts of this earlier today. Elon Musk talking about some of the proxy firms. I want to get your take.
I just don't feel comfortable building a robot army here and then being ousted because of some asinine recommendations from ISS and Glass Lewis who have no freaking clue. I mean, those guys are corporate terrorists.
So, Brian, as a shareholder, he's basically talking about he needs control of the company, also actually advocating for his own $1 trillion pay package. Don't blame him for that. Who wouldn't want $1 trillion? Are you going to vote for that pay package? Do you also have concerns about these proxy firms and their influence on the company?
Well, the way I think about it is I draw parallels to the time where Musk was involved in the administration through Doge. The stock price has recovered to pre-Doge levels for Musk when he was distracted with things in Washington. And I think when you think about the ecosystem of the companies that he has between Tesla, SpaceX, and XAI, enabling Musk to be an entrepreneur, to continue to grow out the firm, the pay package to me seems to provide the right motivation going forward to support innovation and growth. I'll give you a perfect example. When you think about the market cap of GM, at around 64 billion and Tesla at around 1.5 trillion, investors are putting weight on innovation, Frank. And I think there's also views that if this goes through, you can look at more synergies with XAI coming into Tesla vehicles, very similar to what we've heard from Ford and GM. So from a shareholder point of view, I'm actually looking to enable Musk to be more focused on innovation and feel that compensation is aligned to these future expectations going forward.
All right. So, Brian, as a shareholder, I know you're worried about the profitability of the company, but on the other side, the idea of building a robot army, is there any concerns there? We're going to be talking about some of the other concerns related to AI coming up a bit later in the show, but concern just with that language and the idea of this big build out of a robot fleet, we're going to call it, as opposed to army.
No, for sure. I think there's obviously a delicate balancing act there when you think about societal impacts versus looking for productivity gains in society using technology. And I think there's more to come, more to learn on that, honestly, Frank. I think, you can take some of Musk's comments at face value as we've seen over the years. He sets expectations high for rollouts for new technology. We've seen that before, and those expectations continue to adjust. So I think on the robotic side of things, I would look at it more as wait to see from a shareholder point of view to see what that means. But I think when I go back to what's more pertinent is we heard on the earnings call that there's still an outlook for robotaxis to be in 8 of the 10 major metro regions by the end of the year, obviously pending regulatory scrutiny. And I think those are the things to focus on in the short term, and we'll get more information on the robotics side over the long term.
All right, going back to the cars, do you feel like Tesla's in the right competitive place when it comes to the EV business and also the autonomous business? You, like a lot of other people, have cited that Waymo, it seems, has a pretty sizable head start.
Absolutely. I mean, I think to be a balanced investor with this stock, if you're already in the stock, it's something to consider to see how this all plays out. If you're not in the stock, I think these are the risks that based on these valuations, you got to be concerned about, because Waymo is definitely a couple years ahead of Tesla in this race to take over market share in the autonomous vehicle space, which is obviously Tesla's goal. I think you have to be concerned about that, and you also have to be concerned about ongoing regulatory scrutiny around safety. But we did hear last night that safety drivers are going to be phased out of vehicles in Austin, Texas. So I think things are kind of moving in that direction, but it's definitely an uphill climb. And when you think about the business overall, they invest about 4% of sales in R&D, and we also have seen this miss on profits. You got to take those things seriously as you pay attention to the next couple quarters and how things are playing out from an innovation point of view.